For years now, Spider-Man fans have been holding on to one very specific hope. The hope that one day Tobey Maguire would suit up again for a full Spider-Man 4. Not just a cameo, not just a multiverse moment, but a proper continuation of Sam Raimi's iconic trilogy. And after the emotional high of Spider-Man No Way Home, that hope felt more alive than ever. But now, the man who started it all has finally spoken, and his words are about as definitive as it gets. While promoting his new horror film, Send Help, director Sam Raimi was asked directly about the possibility of returning to his Spider-Man universe for a fourth film starring Tobey Maguire, and Raimi did not leave much room for interpretation. He explained that it would not feel right for him to go back and resurrect his version of Spider-Man now that the torch has been passed. Raimi reflected on Spider-Man as a character that has existed for decades, shaped by countless writers and artists long before his films ever existed. He described his time with Spider-Man as a moment when he was entrusted with the character, carried it for 3 movies, and then handed it off to the next generation. In his view, that next generation deserves to keep running with the story without him stepping back in. That statement alone pretty much closes the door on a Raimi-directed Spider-Man 4, and for many fans, that is the only version of Spider-Man 4 that would truly count. This hits especially hard because the demand has been very real. After No Way Home brought Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland together, audiences were reminded why Tobey's Peter Parker still resonates so deeply. He was not just a nostalgia cameo. He felt older, wiser, and emotionally complete in a way that made people want more. Over the past year, hope briefly reignited when writer Mattson Tomlin revealed that he had been trying to develop a Maguire-led Spider-Man 4. He even admitted that despite the red tape, he had never been outright told no. Fans immediately started imagining a grounded sequel about Peter Parker navigating adulthood, marriage, and even parenthood while still carrying the weight of being Spider-Man. But here is the reality check. A Spider-Man 4 without Sam Raimi would never truly feel like a continuation of that trilogy. Raimi's visual style, emotional sincerity, and comic book energy are baked into those films. You can recast writers, you can build a new story, but without Raimi behind the camera, it stops being Spider-Man 4 and starts becoming something else entirely. And Raimi clearly understands that. His comments were not dismissive or cynical, they were respectful. He acknowledged that Spider-Man belongs to the present torchbearers and their audience. In other words, he sees his trilogy as a finished chapter, not an unfinished story begging for a sequel. That does not mean Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is completely gone from the conversation, though. With the MCU still deep in its multiverse era, speculation continues that Maguire could appear again in major crossover events like Avengers: Secret Wars. While nothing has been confirmed, it would be surprising if Marvel closed out the multiverse saga without acknowledging one of the most important Spider-Men in cinematic history. There is also ongoing chatter about future projects subtly continuing Maguire's legacy rather than reviving his story directly. Rumors surrounding new characters and alternate timelines suggest Marvel may honor that version of Peter Parker without undoing the closure he received in No Way Home, and that closure matters. No Way Home did something rare. It gave Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man emotional resolution. We learned that he and Mary Jane found their way back to each other. We saw a Peter Parker who had endured loss, regret, and hardship, but had finally found balance. For many fans, that moment healed the disappointment left behind by Spider-Man 3. So while it may sting to hear Sam Raimi say he is done, it is also hard to argue with his reasoning. Sometimes the best endings are the ones that stay endings. Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire may never happen, but his Spider-Man did not fade away. He grew up, he found peace, and he left the mask behind with dignity. So how do you feel about Sam Raimi's decision? Would you rather see Spider-Man 4 without him, or is this the right place to stop? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more Marvel updates, casting news, and multiverse twists you do not want to miss.